when did you first go to sea?
Beginning of 41.
And how old were you then, mate?
14.
14. What was your first ship?
Port Campbell.
What type of ship was that?
Cargo ship.
Cargo ship. General cargo.
General cargo.
Yeah. How big was she?
Oh, I said probably about 8,000.
Yeah. How
I'm
many?
not sure now, but
Yeah,
I think probably about 8,000 tonne. Yeah.
How many was in the crew on that?
You mean down below?
No, all up.
All
up
up.
in the crew. Roughly, mate. Roughly.
Counting office and all, probably be over 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because about a dozen, 18. Yeah, probably offhand around about 32, I think.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And what made you go to sea?
I just wanted to. I just wanted to get away. I suppose. With it being a war on, you wanted to go. You wanted to go. But,
Yeah.
You didn't realise, of course, what it was. But it wasn't here. See, it wasn't. The Japs weren't in the war then, and so I just wanted to go because everybody else seemed to be joining the army and the navy or whatever, and
Yeah.
so I. Used to go around to shipping offices and that and try and get a job, but most of them chase you out because they reckon you're too young, you're about 10-year-old or something like that. But, eventually I got one. There was the young bloke that paid off sick and he was in hospital, so I got the job.
Yeah, right. And
I told my parents it was on the coast.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
They thought, oh, the Japs are not doing it. The Japs, the war's a long way away.
Yeah.
So they didn't stop me from going.
Yeah, right. When you first shipped that, what were the conditions like? Like, how long did you work in that? What your hours and if any? Did you get a leave system?
Leave?
Yeah. Did you get any leave out of it?
I think you used to get about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only guessing now, but I think we got about 3 weeks leave a year.
Yeah, right.
And so,
what were your hours you worked there? How many hours a day?
it was an 8-hour day.
Oh.
And, you didn't get as a deck boy you worked more than 8 hours. But,
yeah.
You weren't getting any overtime for it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, they didn't work you to the extent that because you had time off in the afternoon and things like that for a little while. But then you were up forward with the bosun and chippy and that learning anyway.
Yeah.
So that was all we were doing.
And how long in them days would you stay in port for loading and discharging? What was your average time in port?
It all depended. You used to get a good stay.
Yeah.
Probably because they hit a few ports, but I'd probably say you'd get near enough to a week or so, maybe more in some ports.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot different than what it is nowadays.
Yeah.
But because you were going from port to port, we could say you were getting a good run ashore.
Yeah.
And, so that way. Excuse me. That way it was all right.
Yeah.
You were getting to see something.
Yeah, true. Now, you were a bit unusual in as that when you first went to sea you was a deck boy, and then you got a little bit of your ordinary seaman's time, and then you decided to go south a bit and went down below.
Well, it was only because I was going with this other bloke, you see, and they wanted two for the job. Well, I mean, I was with him.
Yeah.
at the time, and it was him that asked me if I would go, go with him.
Yeah.
So I went. I don't say that I was going to stay down below for the rest of my life, because I didn't think so then.
Yeah.
But that was why I went, because he was a mate of mine, and
Yeah.
they wanted to there, so I went. So went with him. But he's the one that asked me, not the bloke.
Yeah. Yeah. So how long did you eventually stay down below for?
I was in there for about 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was all right. That was all right.
But you stayed down below for the rest of your seagoing career, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You never went back on deck again.
No.
Yeah. So
no, when somebody said get down below with the men.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And you started off as what down below?
Pardon?
What did you start off as down below?
Trimmer.
Trimmer.
Yeah.
Then you went from there.
The fireman.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
fireman. First.
And then if you was lucky, you got a job inside.
Yeah.
In the engine room, but that wasn't so easy, because it was a better job.
Yeah.
But then again, some blokes liked firing.
Yeah.
They didn't want to go anywhere else. But,
What was life like below on a coal burner when you were firing?
Depending on the coal, most of the time when you were at sea anyway. If you had good coal, it wasn't a bad kind of a job. But some of them were pretty hard,
Yeah.
and especially if you happen to fall into a refrigerator job. So they were all right while the fridge engines weren't working, but when they were working, you had a cargo of frozen stuff. That was just like another engine starting up altogether. So
Yeah.
it made it a lot harder. But as I say, if the coal was all right, you could manage them. But also if you had somebody that didn't mind working.
Yeah. Yeah.
And knew what he was doing, because there's a bit of a knack in firing.
Yeah.
You could do it the right way and the wrong way. There's only two ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And, you did it the right way, and I used to took notice of the older blokes that knew how to fire, and I learnt that way, and I stayed that way.
Yeah.
But I was with a few that didn't, and that made a job hard too.
Yeah. You were saying before when we were talking outside there that you picked up a job that had been laid up for a while, and
yeah. She hit a mine in the Indian Ocean, and she didn't sink, unfortunately. But, as it turned out, anyway. But they got her into port, and she was laid about 18 months. She'd been laid up, and but of course they didn't need any bunkers, so the bunkers they had stayed there, and they got her over to Italy, and that was eventually that was as far as she was going to get. There was still a lot of work to do in her. I think maybe she might have been towed over there. I don't know, but we didn't find out really until we left Genoa. That's where she was, and we were going to North Africa, and she didn't want to steam at all. We knew there was going to be trouble in port. She was a natural draft job. And,
yeah.
She wasn't the best in port either, but the tubes were clean. Everything was okay that way, except that she didn't want to steam when we got away, and so the skipper had us up on the bridge after a couple of days. It should only taken us about 3 or 4 days to get to North Africa at her speed. But it was going to take about 2 months the way she was going. But he reckons we were lingering. But With it being a natural draft job, there's a ways of firing them to what there is for firing a forced draft job.
Yeah.
And some of the blokes didn't know, they'd never been on a natural draft job. And I hadn't been in many myself, and only a couple. And so anyway, we got to Bone, and we took some bunkers on there, which were a bit better. And that other stuff, as I told you before, it was that old. I don't know how long it'd been when they got it in Italy, in India. But it could have been laying there for some time too. But then it stayed in the ship all that time, and there was, well, I reckon there was, exaggerated a bit, but there was like trees growing out of it. It hadn't been there that long.
Yeah.
And then we went from there to Gibraltar, and we bunkered again. And the only trouble with that was that there was smoke coming out of it on the wharf.
Yeah.
And they still bunkered. Anyway, maybe they didn't realise, you know, that it was as bad as it was. But once it got into the ship, down the bottom of the ship, and that eventually it took off again. So we were at sea with a fire in the bunkers.
Yeah, not a nice place to be.
Yeah, after the watch you had to get in the bunker and you were shifting the coal around and to stop it from spreading too quickly.
Yeah.
And, anyway, we eventually got to Middlesbrough after about 10 days, and they wouldn't let us tie up because she was had a fire in her. Anyway, they ended up cutting a hole in the side and put the hoses in there, and then they got us in, and they discharged the bunkers first.
Yeah. Before the
iron ore.
Yeah, before they decided to discharge the cargo, get rid of the bunkers.
That's what we had in it too, was iron ore.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so that was... I never had coal as bad as that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mean the stuff that was burning on the wharf. I mean the one that was there before we got there.
You wouldn't want coal like that again anyhow, would you?
No.
Yeah. On these jobs, and that what was the food like in that when you first got away?
It was just food.
Yeah.
Just food. Yeah.
How did it change over the years?
Oh yeah. Well, I can't say I ever starved, but
yeah.
I think we got you probably got hungry, but you get used to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or say you do, you get used to it. You've got to put up with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, mate. That's true. What those big-hearted employers them days? What did they supply you with, like in the way of linen or soap or working gear or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, you got that when you signed articles. You were entitled to that. And,
did they?
you had a mattress. You had a mattress cover.
Yeah.
And a couple of blankets, and a pillow. And
they provide working gear for you in them days?
No.
No working clothes. No weather gear.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What about safety gear?
No, you had to have all your own gear.
Yeah, take all your own stuff.
Yeah. They used to wear the big long sea boots then.
Yeah.
The thigh ones.
Yeah. What different types of ships have you been on?
Different kinds.
Different types, yeah.
Oh, well, I've been in tankers, cargo ships and tankers and trawlers. I had to give them a go for a while. And salvage ships. I was in one salvage ship.
Oh, yeah. How long were you on her for?
Hmm?
How long were you on her for?
About 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she never went anywhere. She was in the Humber.
Oh, yeah.
A trawler had sunk in the river, and they were getting it up.
Yeah.
Or trying to get it up. Yeah. And she was all right. As a job, she was okay.
Yeah. In your time,
fishing was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. But I'd been around a while by the time I got into her.
Oh, yeah.
In the fishing.
Where was that, in the North Sea? Yeah.
North Sea, Russia, Iceland,
Yeah.
Faroes, all up north. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
At least you've been all right being down below. You would have been warm.
Yeah, but you had to go up. You had to go up on deck and wind the ashes up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and there was only two of you down there, you and the engineer.
Yeah.
And he had to come out of there into the stokehold and keep the steam up while you were up there. And some of them weren't very good firemen, see, because the steam used to get back a bit.
Yeah.
But it was cold up there. You didn't have much gear, but you were behind the ventilator.
Yeah.
That was the only old behind the funnel with the ventilator, and you wound them up. And one engineer I had there, he used to let the steam get back. By the time I got down there, the varset was stopped just about, and so I just sang out to him after that and said, "How's the steam?" He said, "Oh, all right." All right. So I said, "Well, you better have it up there because I'm not coming down if you do."
Yeah.
So, but he didn't improve much.
Yeah.
But it was a a job. But there, you used to work watches 5 on and 7 on, 5 on and 7 off, and 7 on and 5 off. That was to go in with the meals.
Yeah.
You know, you went on at midnight and stayed there till 7 o'clock in the morning, and then you were off till dinner time.
Yeah.
And what you 7 on and 5 on, and then you did 5 from 5 midday till 5, and then on again at midnight.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
And it was long hours, but they were all right when they were when all the winches were going and they were getting the catch in. You knew.
You knew you were.
The job was a bit different then. But, they were. Well, it was a job, and.
What was the pay like? What was the pay like?
The money.
Yeah.
Well, depending on what you caught, you used to get 4. You got £5 a week.
Yeah.
Then, and that went to your missus got that, or whoever you wanted to leave the allotment to. That you didn't see it, never got on the ship.
Yeah.
And she got that, and then when you got in, depending on how many trawlers were in on the day, and the companies used to send messages out for when you were starting to come home, get in on such and such a day. There's only one other trawler due in, or you were the only one coming in.
Yeah.
But that was okay. If there weren't many trawlers coming in on that day, you used to get money because you used to sell the fish the next morning straight away.
Oh, yeah.
And, so if you hadn't have been away too long, about 21 days was the average. But if you could get in under that, you got more for the fish.
Yeah.
And but over that, it used to come down, and some of it, if they couldn't sell it, they used to go to the what do you call them, fish factories.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the shipbuilders didn't mind that because they, they were going to get more if they sold it, but you got a flat rate there, and it wasn't £4.10 for every 1,000 quid that the trawler made. That's what you used to get paid.
Oh, yeah, right.
So, but I mean, £4.10 wasn't bad money then.
Yeah.
And, for every 1,000 the trawler made. Well, if you made 10,000, you got 40 quid. 45 bucks.
Yeah.
45 quid.
Yeah.
And but then again, you could make more than that too. If there was a glut of fish, and you could make a fair quid out of it.
Yeah.
But then again, in Hull, everybody was a fisherman.
Fisherman, yeah.
And that was their living. They had nowhere else to go. I mean, you were either a seaman, a fisherman, or a wharfie.
Yeah.
Or worked on the fish dock.
Yeah.
There wasn't very much manufacturing there.
Yeah.
There was a few factories, but really not for the size of the place. It wasn't much manufacturing. It was all sea going.
Yeah.
And,
so what type of ship did you prefer to be on?
Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Didn't matter in the end, so long as it was. Things got better over the years. I didn't mind tankers. Even years ago, you know, and you weren't in port too long.
Yeah.
And, you used to think, oh, you're only in there a couple of days. In a couple of days now, you can almost see them coming out of the water when they're discharging. But,
that's right. Yeah.
10,000 tonner years ago, which was normal size for most tankers, if they were that much. But you're usually in for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But if you were lucky, you might have got more. But,
over your years at sea, you would have come across a few characters. Has any of them jumped to mind?
Yeah. Yes, there was quite a few, but a lot of them was when I was younger and that, you know, and I can't think of the names now. There was mad mix everywhere.
Yeah.
And of course out here, I suppose one of them, there were a lot of well-known ones. Homeboat Smith was one of them, and he's a well-known character around Australia.
Yeah.
But now my memory's got worse now. I can't think of the names of a lot of them.
Well, you were with one lunatic I know on the Wiltshire. I think he was third mate there, wasn't he? Dave Lum.
Who?
Dave Lum.
Yeah.
No,
he was a mate, I think.
Yeah. He was third mate there, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think he ended up as mate. I remember he was there one time as a skipper too.
Yeah. He was skipper on the Oscar and skipper on the Helix.
Yeah, he was all right, Dave.
Yeah.
He got a medal for saving the bloke's life.
Yeah, off the Kelvin.
Yeah.
When
nearly drowned him.
Yeah, sure did, mate. Sure did nearly drown the poor bugger, but he got out of it all right. In your years at sea, you would have come across a few near misses, or where you've been in any accidents, or had a few near misses or anything like that.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
I suppose the one with that.
Probably the worst injury I had. I suppose I was pretty lucky too that I didn't get killed. It was in one of the offshore jobs. So I didn't mention them before, did I?
No.
I was in the offshore there for a while. It was the I was in the Shearwater Sapphire, but it wasn't her.
Yeah.
But the first ones to go, the Yank.
Oh yeah, the Yank one.
Guihenneuk.
Yeah.
The Guihenneuk 34. Yeah, it was a couple of us working on deck, and we were bringing a barge in, and I just went out because I was down below. But I had to work out on deck when you know, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in the morning I went out.
Yeah.
And the AB that was there told he put a stopper on the line, and he said to me, hang on to this while I go up and let the shackle go. They were shortening up the tow, see. And of course a lot of the barge was almost on top of us, but there was a lot of rope had gone down into the water.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm hanging onto the stopper, and all of a sudden it started to tighten up and need the tension on it, and it got bad enough pretty quickly that I sang out. I could see the rope. It wasn't a new rope, it was an old rope. I think I sang out, I think it's going to break, and because the other bloke hadn't come down from the shackles. And anyway, it did break. But I don't remember that. I remember singing out.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anything after that until I woke up in hospital. And somehow or other I got lifted up into the air and turned over and landed on my head on the deck. And over in the forehead.
Yeah.
Over here, over my eye, and all around it was all smashed up.
Yeah.
And I didn't wake up until that night, and that was early in the morning. I'd woke up that night in hospital, and I think it was at Sale, and they were taking me into St Vincent's.
Oh, yeah.
So they whacked me in an ambulance and took me down there, but I was still unconscious most of the time. I remember being in the ambulance for a while, but I don't remember any more until I got to St Vincent's and they opened the doors up and my wife and Alan were there.
Yeah.
And I just seen them, and then I went out like a light again. So I stayed that way too. The next day I woke up, I was in bed in the ward. And, so I'd have been there about 10 days. And,
Yeah, you're lucky.
I was very lucky, and yeah. So I was having tin hats on. I did have one on too, but while I was turning the somersault, it decided to fall off.
Yeah. Yeah. What about any of the ships you've been on? Have they been in any prangs or anything like that, or you've been pretty safety ships?
Yeah, one ship, and it's bad coal again, but this bad coal was, we got it in Germany, and we were going back to London, and we knew that was bad too, because the night before we left they couldn't steam it, and everybody had been up the road, except the donkeyman, and when the blokes was wandering back like they were trying to get steam up to get away in the morning, and he was having a hard time. So anyway, we had to turn to and give him a hand. And, so anyway, we got away from there. But after a couple of days, we used to that much clinker on the fire bars.
Yeah.
And eventually the fire bars kept falling out, they collapsed. So we ended up in one boiler that was. Well, both boilers when they were going bad, like, but one of them, there were no bars left in there at all, so it couldn't steam. And we just drifting around there, and we happened to be in the middle of a minefield. And of course we didn't notice until the old man decided to tell us. And he said, if we don't get a bit of help soon, we're, just drifted around there. And so there was a Dutch tug wanted to put a line on us, and the old man wouldn't have it because he reckoned that they wanted too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fucked the mines, like, you know.
yeah, we ain't paying for this, yeah.
So anyway, the company said, well, there's another ship coming. That was the Boltonia, the ship. And he said, there's another company ship coming along, it'll be here tomorrow. So we had to wait for her till she got there and got a line on us and took us down to London. But we didn't get anything for that, and the tug got nothing either because the skipper was still on board.
Yeah.
He couldn't claim any salvage because the old man was still aboard.
Yeah.
If he'd have got off in a lifeboat or something like that, we might have got a good. And so the tug might have got salvage, or we might have got some too. But, so that was an experience.
Yeah.
I had a lot of experiences, but it would take me more than today to think of a lot of them. You know. And, I had a lot of good times. Had a lot of bad times too.
Yeah.
And, but on the whole, I suppose. I'll tell you, when I finally came back after the war, I didn't come back because it was very hard in the UK then to get a ship, being an Aussie, to get a ship coming out here. And there's plenty of Aussies around, and we were staying in Dock Street in London, and a lot of Aussies around there. Some were lucky enough from the pool to get a job, but there were a lot of blokes out over there too that were having to join ships here. Some blokes had never been to sea before, because there were so many fellas jumping out here, and they weren't Aussies. And they had to pick up Australians to take ships back, more or less, you know. And so there was a lot of Aussies around there, but I mean, for the blokes like myself that had been away for a while, and I hadn't been home then for, well, that was, I'm talking about in 47, I hadn't been home then for 3 years. And, so I just found it, found it hard. We kept getting knocked back. I went to the Dominion Monarch one time and from the pool, and the engineer I seen, he said, I had a job. He said, get up to shipping office, he's signed it on now. But if it had kept me big mouth shut, I might have got signed on. But I was talking to a fella behind me, and this, I think it was a mate, or the old man, he said to me, you're Australian, aren't you? I said, yes. He said, well, you're not signed on here. I said, but the pool sent me down, the engineer said I could have the job, and he said, well, you're not getting it. He said, I lost half the crew last trip. And she was the biggest ship, that's the ship, the Dominion. So anyway, I didn't get that, and it was another 10 years after that before I got home. Near enough. I got home at the end of 57.
Yeah, right.
And in a port boat, but they wouldn't pay me off there either.
You have to jump.
Yeah, I did. I had to jump, and I got, after being home here in Melbourne for a weekend. And being married over there and having a couple of kids, I mean, I wasn't going to leave them. But, I didn't have to go back, but if I had gone back, I probably would have been away another bloody 10 or 12 years. And, so I got as far as Fremantle, and I decided I'd had enough of that, because I was having trouble with the chief engineer too. He didn't like me. So, and I got knocked off. Yeah, I spent the first weekend in the lock-up in Fremantle. On a Saturday I got pinched, Saturday morning. Saturday night all the drunks started arriving. I had cigarettes too, and I took them out once, and that was the end of the cigarettes.
That was the end of them, yeah.
Everybody wanted to smoke.
Yeah.
So when I went to court, I got found guilty of desertion. But, I hadn't deserted, according to me, I hadn't deserted, I missed the ship. And, left my gear on board, what gear I had. And so anyway, I went away to Fremantle Jail then, lovely place. I think it was older than Pentridge. I was never in Pentridge, but I went, it was a pretty rough old place, the old Fremantle, Nick. So I was in there for a while, and they took me away, took me to court, and I got sentenced to 7 days, and the judge said, well, you've done 7 days, you can go.
Yeah.
And my mother had got me an aeroplane ticket for the Sunday, after I got picked up on the Saturday. But anyway, I was able to use that the following week. My mother did a little bit of talking eventually, but it was only because a lot of it came from my mother ear bashing the coppers in Fremantle all the time, and George Irving was my stepfather. George was well known on the coast here as a cook. He wasn't a bad cook either, George, but if he stayed off the piss, he was all right. And, but George was down there when we got into Melbourne and I first come back, and he got himself up on the bridge and had a bit of a chat. And the chief engineer wanted me to come back and do my gear turn because I was donkey greasy, and so I said I wasn't coming back. I had a bloke doing it. He said, no, you don't. You do it. So I said, well, you better get yourself up top. words to that effect, and get the logbook or something. I said, because I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back. Anyway, when I got down on the, seen my mother on the wharf there and got down to her, and the old man stuck his head over the wing of the bridge and he said, I want to see you. So I went up and he went over the chief's head and he said, you can go ashore. He said, just be back Monday morning for sailing. So I went back.
Yeah.
So, not because he asked me to, but because my family thought about my wife and kids in England. They didn't know if I jumped the ship whether they were going to get fed or not. But, and my missus knew the next day that I jumped. They told her. You've only stopped. But she just got me. She just got the allotment not long before that. So, Baruta.
Oh yeah. When was that, in 58?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. 60, early 60.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going because she was here 6 months after I jumped.
Yeah.
And that same ship never went back to England. It went up to India and then across to the States on the man's run and then come back out here, and the same crew was still there.
Yeah.
And so they would have been away about 18 months then. Eventually they got back and they got paid off back in Canada and they sent them home.
Yeah.
They'd done nearly 2 years. And so, what was I saying then? I got myself lost.
When you came back on the coast, but in the Baruta.
Oh yeah, the Baruta, yeah. And I got a job, I was working in Leggett's Rubber in Richmond, and I got a job, there was in the paper they wanted blokes in the lighthouse ship. It was a Cape York.
Yeah.
I didn't know long. When I went down, I thought I'll go down and have a look there. So I went down. I got the job down below in it. She was pretty old ship.
Yeah.
So I went there and got around all the lighthouses for a while. And I was in there a couple of months, and Roger Wilson come over. We were at South Wharf, and Roger Wilson come down and he said, we were at South Wharf, the Baruta was across in North Wharf, and Roger came down looking for firemen, in Colburn and firemen. So, well, there was 3 of us there. I think there was only 3 firemen there.
Yeah.
She'd been an oil burner, see. And so anyway, we went across because there was a chance of getting into the Union.
Yeah.
So we went over there, and that was that. That was the early 60.
Yeah, right, yeah. So well, that gets to the next question there with about the Seamen's Union. How can you remember, how to influence the life and that on board? What it was like coming from being on overseas union ships and that to coming into the Australian Seamen's Union?
Yeah, well, I was always in unions.
Yeah.
Regardless of what ships I was in. I was in the NMU.
Yeah.
The poly one. And I was in the States. I was in the MFOW. That was a firemen's union, the West Coast Firemen's Union. And also I was in the Norwegian Union.
Yeah.
I would always believed in being in the unions. And, well, you had to be anyway.
Yeah,
it was compulsory.
Yeah.
Before you picked up a ship in the Pearl, the first thing you did was go across the union rooms to get what they called a PC5, which was more like a receipt to say that you were due. Your subs. I mean, you didn't get one if you weren't paid up. You didn't get a job. The union stopped you.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, if you got your PC5 and you went back and you had the ship, you had the job. And I was on strike in the States there for about 2 months one time, and then it was all over. Everybody was out.
Yeah.
And the wharfies wouldn't cross the picket line. That was the first really big strike I was involved in, and it made an impression, you know, because to me, it just showed that as a union, and we ended up winning.
Yeah.
If being on strike for a couple of months, you won.
Yeah.
But we didn't lose nothing, lost nothing, and kept all our conditions, and we got what we wanted, which was a rise in the pay and the accommodation improved, and they looked after us. For all that time, you didn't get much. If you were married, you got $12 a week. If you were single, you got $5.
Yeah.
But you got fed in they used to little cafes and that. They just sent it to the the union paid.
Yeah.
Paid for your tucker.
Yeah, right.
And I've been involved in a few strikes, even. In the UK too.
Yeah.
They weren't strikes that the union had anything to do with. In fact, the union, well, it was the union had something to do with it because it was the members.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the officials that called the strikes.
Mm.
There was one there. I just can't. The first one I was in was in '47 too. Can't think of the name. It was two blokes there. It was something. Garrity rings a bell, but maybe that's because of the Garrity here. But they started it, and the ships were jacked up all over, even the big ones.
Yeah.
They got down to Southampton and that. We eventually they went to jail. They got locked up after, but they were the only two that got locked up, and. There wasn't supposed to be any, we got paid off, the one I was on was paid off in Hull, and I went back down to London, and when the strike was over, there was not supposed to be any, what do you call it?
Repercussions.
They couldn't do anything to you.
Yeah,
you
no
you
repercussions.
got your job back.
Yeah,
right? And so I must have. No, we must have come back down to London. That's right. And we were paid off in London.
Yeah.
And we were getting off in London anyway. And because the strike was on then, and so we got off there, and eventually we went back to the ship, and we took her up to Hull again. And all got sacked.
Yeah.
So much for their not being able to do anything to you.
Yeah. What about out when you come out in Aussie? Remember any of the disputes and that you're involved in out here?
Oh, any that there was, yeah. We were in all of them. But, unless you happen to be at sea. But,
the Vietnam moratorium?
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, I seem to be ashore all the time then. The moratoriums are on.
Yeah.
And,
I remember that big one.
And that was good. That was, I enjoyed it because everybody was in it.
Yeah.
And, so I know now that these blokes come back from Vietnam, they all got a hard time because of what they'd been doing, burning down villages and this and that, and people didn't agree with it, and in the end, and they were doing as they were told.
That's right,
but now they're getting pretty well looked after.
Yeah.
The Vietnam, there's that many of them, and they've got a big lobby.
Yeah.
And Bert and Ireland went to see somebody at Veterans Affairs the other day, and the bloke in charge of that part, the legal side of it, it was a Vietnam vet.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me this morning when I was talking to him on the phone what they called it. It's to do with the legal part.
Yeah.
And he said to Bert, oh, we had some differences during the Vietnam War, and Bert said, I'm bloody sure you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, And yes, but you know, it's we seem to have got ourselves in a bit of a hole now. You know, that we're not able to just go on strike.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but I mean, they don't want to do it because it's going to cost. They break the unions like Maggie Thatcher did to the miners in England. She broke that union.
Yeah, that's true, mate.
You know.
That's true.
And that was bad. That, you know, I mean, you had families split.
Yeah.
And all up in the north of England, all them coal mines, some of them shut down, never opened up again.
Yeah.
But they went over there. Those people over there went over to see Maggie after that and just said, what did you do, Maggie? You know, how did you do this and that? And bloody Kennedy did it when he come back here. He went over to see her.
Yeah.
And but hopefully we'll get rid of the drop kick this time.
Oh, mate, we can only wish. We can only wish.
Yeah.
In the good old days, Lou, you the stop work meetings, mate.
Yes. You had to break a leg not to go.
That's right. And then you had to have a break a leg note virtually. Yeah, a doctor's note. Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, everybody wanted to go to the meetings in those days, and we had a lot more members.
Yeah.
They were all very staunch.
Yeah.
I think the containers have got a lot to do with it. The blokes don't get enough time to talk to each other on board anymore now. They're, you know, you know, you haven't got the cruiser, you haven't got the gear or anything like that anymore. But you know what you did it at night was sit on the hatch and talk to each other.
That's right. Yeah.
Or wherever, but and the young kids used to be there and they took notice.
Nowadays with the advent of bloody TV and videos and God knows what, you don't do no bars, and also having no crew.
Well, that's right. I believe BHP said that they wanted to put TVs in every room, and Elliot said, well, you're not.
Yeah.
But he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And once they did that, and eventually they did, after EV had gone, of course. They did it, and that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, that's right.
Slough themselves up in a room, and you know, the last thing they want to talk about is unions.
Yeah. Nowadays you'd be lucky to see half a dozen blokes at a stop work meeting. They're all the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Schedule C and that, mate, and the pickup. How'd that affect you?
The which?
Schedule C. Schedule C. The roster system.
Oh, Schedule C.
Yeah.
Is that when we got the money went in the bank and all?
No, that was before. That was when we. It was before my time. It was about '64 when you got the right to, you know, the union got the right to run the pickup and everything like that, and bloody and appearance money and.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I really can't. I can't think now how that did affect us.
Yeah.
It must have.
Well, it was when you didn't have to worry about, you know, the old, either the engineer or the mate come along going, oh yeah, I'll take him. Where the union ran the pickup and that.
We all became permanent.
Yeah. Well, we all got
our. That's right. Before that, we weren't permanent at all. We're all casual.
Yeah.
After the pickup.
Yeah. With the pickup system, yeah.
Well, we did have the pickup before, but the mate used to come, or the engineer used to come around and say, I'll have you.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
It's just a little bit before my time.
We got the pickup, and that's right, and you had the right to knock back a couple of ships. But then you had to take one, but you took your turn on the roster, which was good. And yes, that stopped a lot of...
and that's when you also got your dedicated home ports, where before you could ship out anywhere. Yes, a lot of good things come out of that, I just, when you said Schedule C, like, you know, it's... But when you talk about it and you know then what it was about, I really know what Schedule C was. Well, the pickup, yes, I think when we lost the pickup, that was the worst thing we ever did. Oh, yeah.
And it's gone.
Yeah, that's right. In the early 70s, one of the greatest things that I reckon that ever happened to seamen, merchant seamen, that in the Aussie coast was the SRF, the retirement fund. How did that affect you?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was. Well, it turned out that way. That when I did retire, and I was asked to retire because they wanted some of the older members to get out. And so they could put younger blokes in, and they didn't want. Somebody had to go.
Yeah.
So they asked for volunteers to go. So I decided that I'd like to have got the 50 years in.
Yeah.
But I got 49 of them in, and a pocket full of money.
Yeah.
Which you know.
A lot of the
wouldn't have had if we hadn't have had
That's
that.
right. A lot of the old seamen that just the last bloody payoff was all they got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's right, and that went in the pub.
Yeah.
And then you went down the Hungry Mile. Some blokes spent their money, and they were always good days when you were signing on.
Yeah.
You had a day. Well, you had a few drinks and that, but coming off, and you got your pocket full of money, and
Yeah.
not too many blokes went straight home.
Nah, that's for sure. Yeah.
And the next day it was too late for a lot of them.
Yeah.
They had nothing to go home for. With.
Yeah, it's true. So how did going
the
to
money
sea...
going straight into the bank was another good thing too.
Yeah.
And it helped blokes that have never had a quid.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably, and of course I was married, I had to be home myself, but there was lots of times when I was overseas and that, you know, that when you were broke, you were broke.
That's right, yeah.
And, but you always had blokes that would help you one way or the other, and you did the same thing when you had money, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're coming quite to the end of it now. What was your last ship then?
My last ship?
Yeah.
The Wiltshire.
Wiltshire. And when did you retire out of her? I know we said before 2000, but I think you whacked 10 years on that because the Wiltshire finished in 1990.
Yeah. Yeah, what did I say, 2000?
Yeah.
Did I?
You're lucky I'm here to remind you.
Yeah, yeah.
She finished as the Kelvin picked up.
Yeah, I was on it for about, I don't know, maybe
there.
6 years.
Yeah, all the time she was on the coast,
Yeah, well that's right. When she finished, I finished.
Yeah,
1990.
1990,
Yeah. Around about February, I think.
So, in your retirement, what are you doing these days, mate? You're still active around the industry, I know that, but...
I worked on the voluntary on the Wattle for a long time.
Yeah.
And, mainly because I like the little triple expansion steam engine.
Yeah.
That's what got me to work there, because there's none of them around anymore.
Yeah.
And but I liked working on her, and I've joined the Merchant Navy War Service League.
Yeah, you're the president of.
Well, I am. Yeah. I have been for president now for 12 years.
Yeah.
But, I joined it when I was still going to sea.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to too many meetings then, of course. But it's a good thing. I think people are a bit better off now than what they were when she had a lot of members. They had a lot of members there years ago.
Yeah.
But of course, a lot of them died, and they disappeared and got older, and we've still got some good members. The meetings are okay.
Yeah.
When we do what we can for each other.
Yeah. You're also a member of the Vets too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maritime Vets. Yeah. Yeah. I was just looking at I got Percy White sends me all the minutes.
Oh yeah.
So I keep them. I'm like a bloody magpie, me, with bloody things. A lot of papers and that. I shouldn't keep half of them. In fact, more than half of them.
I think
I don't mean the minutes of things, but I've got papers here. But to me, there's something that
That's right.
you know you never have again. I could
Yeah.
get more, but all the journals,
Yeah.
Seaman's journals, I got them way back. And I was thinking I should get rid of them, but I wouldn't burn them.
Nah.
I would. I was thought about taking some of them down to them spirits,
Yeah.
you know, and getting.
I don't know as to whether they'd even be interested in them, mate. That's the problem.
Well, some of them, some
Yeah.
of them would read them.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Yeah, some there, but
they could have them in the library, but
Yeah.
I got enough there to fill about 3 libraries.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
but I'll find something one day to give.
Oh, I know.
They might even take them in the library.
I know a Maritime Museum in northern New South Wales that'd gratefully bloody accept them, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just that Maxie Bryan from me over on Submarine at down at where's it, Hastings, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Well, I just sent him a map, well, not a chart of.
Yeah.
It's got all the shipping companies' flags on it. It's got
Yeah.
photos of a lot of ships, and it's got a map of Australia with every ship that was in any actions
Yeah.
during the war. The ones
Yeah,
that were
right.
sunk, damaged, etc. And it was all put together by a fellow named Alan Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. He's dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Brisbane, and
He did a lot for the museum that me and the old man got.
he did. He
Yeah.
did. He was a main thing.
Yeah.
With,
We've got.
with what he put into
Yeah.
that. Can you see the 2 on the end there?
Yeah.
The books. That's,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the McGurr Inquiry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Well, that's the both books.
Yeah.
One's the inquiry and the other one's the submission.
Yeah. Right.
And
We've got one of the rooms in the museum in Kyoto named after Alan. It's the Alan Smith room.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, he was a good bloke.
Yeah.
He was a good friend of Alan's. And,
There is one thing I was going to tell you too. I suppose you know about the Littleton 2, when you're saying about the wattle.
yeah,
The Littleton 2's been scrapped.
yeah.
Yeah, he took her down to Geelong and put her up on the old slipway down there and scrapped her. And once she's been finished scrapped, they're going to scrap the slipway too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with the wattle. They want some money, but
Yeah.
they seem to put $2 or $3 million into the arts.
Yeah.
But they won't put enough into the wattle to. She needs new plates and things like that. Probably $200,000 or $300,000. But you know, when you see them putting millions here and millions there, and 250,000 sounds a lot of money. But when you look at other things they get money for, it's nothing.
That's right. Yeah.
And,
We've got one last question, mate. The industry, the way it is today, seeing, retired, what do you think of the way it's going now, being on the outside looking in?
well, I still go to all the stop work meetings, being a life member.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say anything unless they let you.
Yeah.
Now and then they'll let you say a few words. Yeah, I just think what I said before. I think we've got ourselves into a bit of a hole where they're making it very, very hard to be able to do anything. And a change of government is one way that we will get ourselves out of some trouble.
Yeah.
And I just think we've lost a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Sure,
now,
mate.
I think lately we have stopped giving things away to get something else.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea,
Nah.
giving things away to get something.
Yeah.
Because the things that you give away were very hard
Fought
won.
for. That's right. Well, that's about it, Lou. Unless you got anything you want to add, mate.
No, at the moment I'll probably think of a lot later. And, no, I'll have had a bit of time to think about it this time, but more so than last time.
Yeah.
But you'll have to edit that because there's more than 10 minutes there.
Yeah, it's all right. The name of this is Seaman's Australian Merchant Seaman Story in his own words. Don't get edited. You just get it like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know
Which is good.
there is a lot that
Yeah.
I've left out.
Yeah.
Uh, some of it I didn't want to say about, like the wartime part of it. I didn't leave it all out, but the times I had during the war and the convoys.
What convoys
There's a
were
lot
you
of this stress. That stress that all these Vietnam blokes they're all getting TPIs and all that, and some of them I'd never seen a shot fired.
Yeah,
But,
that's right, yeah.
But we never ever got anything like that, and and especially in Britain and the States and that, I mean, some of them blokes and that. I say there's some. If you went on all those convoys to Russia, which you didn't, although some of the Navy blokes had to go.
Yeah.
You didn't have any option, but you didn't yourself. If you got put on a ship, you had to go. But there was blokes lost both arms and legs.
Yeah.
How'd you be waking up and that's all that's left of you? And it happened.
Yeah.
It happened frozen. And, I know how cold. I was in ships run. I wasn't in none of those convoys, but I was in ships that had run to Russia after that. Especially when cargo ships running up to Archangel.
Yeah.
Timber, mainly timber, and fishing. The fishing up there, you were doing it in all that weather.
Yeah.
And you were up there for at least 12 or for a couple of weeks anyway, fishing, and I couldn't tell you how cold it was, but it was.
Up a brass monkey.
I know it was pretty cold, but of course that was when I first went fishing. It was the winter time, and you didn't see much light at all.
Yeah.
It was dark all the time, One time we were fishing there we were inside Russian water. We shouldn't have been in there, but there were a few more fish in there. And it was off Murmansk. And, they come across it. They seen another ship, and it happened to be a Russian warship. And the Cold War was on too at the time, but it didn't. I think that. The Russians were pretty good. If they caught you fishing inside the waters, they never locked you up.
Yeah.
They took the trawler in there and they took all your nets.
Oh yeah.
So you had nothing. You had to go back to the UK.
Yeah.
But at least you still had the ship.
Yeah.
And so it cost the company money. It didn't cost you nothing.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, you never got a catch either.
Yeah.
But, if what you had, you lost.
Yeah.
They took the fish. They took the fish
Took
and the
everything.
nets, and then sent you on your way. But in Iceland, when they caught up there, they used to lock everybody up.
Yeah.
And they took the trawlers.
Yeah, right.
They didn't get them back.
Yeah.
So the Russians were a bit easier.
Yeah. Because the Poms had a blue of the Icelanders, didn't they?
The Icelandics, yeah. Well, that was because of there were so many trawlers around there, not just British trawlers, but there was all kinds of people, like German trawlers a lot. And all the fish was getting fished out. Yeah. And the Icelandics wanted to do something about it, and of course Britain, they wanted their fish. They wanted to be able to catch some fish, so the Icelandics weren't going to let them. Any areas they could that they were able to, they stopped you from fishing. Yeah. And of course they still went up there, and they were going to go in there and do that. So there was a few shots fired. In anger. But, nobody got sunk. But, things weren't too good for a while. But,